Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Here we're going to really dive in and talk about some relationship stuff this evening.
The stuff we love to talk about.
Yes, yes,
So if
yes.
you saw my post, it said, let's get real clear. All right. That's what we are about. Let's get real while we get clear. All
That's it.
right.
Right into this.
That's right. You know, we are not about the facade or the cover up. We want you to be real with yourself. We want to be real with you. And we want to make sure that this journey is real because we are living real lives. Right.
For sure.
All right. So who are we?
We are Jason and Tina Marie.
I'm the Tina Marie part.
I think they figured out that I'm not the Tina Marie, but either way,
Never know.
right? That's true.
All right.
So we're Jason and Tina Marie. We are the owners of Legendary Relationship and the host of Love and Beyond the I Do podcast.
Yes. We are also authors, coaches, and we have a course to elevate your marriage and relationship if that's what you want. You can find all of our information at
legendaryrelationship.com/info.
So, in case you need that again, it's on the screen, legendaryrelationship.com/info, or you can scan our QR code. So, let's bring up our QR code.
Yeah, you always get me with that one.
That's okay.
Yeah,
All right. It was at the top. Right here. Right. Yep. All right. And that's our QR code where you
Yep.
can find our information.
Yep.
All right. We are here to not only elevate your relationships, your marriage, but also elevate your life because that's what it takes. When we make the time to understand what it requires to have good relationships, then that's what we will have. But until that time, we'll keep experiencing the same things until we do something different, which we know is insanity, right?
Yep.
All
But
right.
we do it.
So we will get back right into tonight's topic right after this.
All right.
So first, I know you want to get right into
Yep,
it.
I sure do.
He hates when I do this, but I know that we had said last Friday that we were going to have 3 young ladies on to talk about the women's conference, but unfortunately, some things didn't happen. Yeah, so we will still have them on hopefully next Friday. We're trying to get the scheduling,
Well, not
together.
next Friday, a Friday.
A Friday. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's just say a Friday. So we're trying to get the logistics together and trying to get the schedules lined up
Mhm.
and do things right. So hopefully they will be on to talk about the woman conference and their experience. So now we can get into tonight's topic.
All right. So what I really want,
Mhm.
so
Was that a put on words? All right.
kind of,
Okay.
right?
What
Yeah,
you
that's
really want.
what's what you really want. So
Okay.
you know what? It seems like that's a hard question to answer
It
on
is.
many different facets, right?
On
Because
many different levels. Absolutely.
okay, yeah, because we don't really know what we want and we can't find it in our mates.
I think we know we have a generalization. So let's say
That's what we
like
have.
I kind of have an idea of what I want, right? But if somebody asks me, what do you want right now, whether it's in life, whether it's
Mhm,
in a relationship, we have either so many things
mhm.
that we don't even know which one to start on, or
Exactly.
we want the overall thing
Mhm.
that it makes us think, well, I don't know what I really want.
Right.
Right.
And
I
that's the
just
first thing we go to is
right.
I don't know. But that's not a good answer.
Or we think we're clear, but we're not really clear.
Right.
Because we know what we've experienced
Mhm.
and we know what we don't want, but we're not 100% clear on what it is we do want. And when I say clear, it's not that what we want, but how do we get it?
Right.
Right? Or how do I know what I want is what's going to make me happy. So we
True.
always generalize it with I want to be happy, right?
Mhm.
I want to have what they have. So with us, we always say, don't look at what someone else has, because that may be good for them, right? That may work for them. That may not feel good on you.
Right.
What someone else has may not feel good on you, right? So know and do and take the time to find out what feels good to you. What makes you feel good? What makes you happy? What makes you want to continue to live life with that person, right?
Right.
Be clear on what it is you're looking for instead of looking outside of yourself for everything at everybody else's relationship and say, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Because sometimes what we see is not what we get.
Hmm.
Right? Sometimes
Okay.
we have to really sit with ourselves. And this is when we're talking about whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your career, whether it's with your children, with the type of
It's
parent
across
that
the board. Whatever
exactly.
comes up in your life,
Right.
it's across the board.
So when we say that, what do I want, right? What is the next step you need to take? When we say get clear, what is the next step you need to take on the road to happiness, right? So, because ultimately, as I've said to people before, the ultimate goal in life is to be happy, right? To enjoy.
I mean, that's what we
Right.
really want.
When somebody, if you're happy, then everything else can pretty much fall into place. I'm happy. I'm at a place where I'm
Right.
happy. So we all want to be happy. We want to enjoy life. But I don't know if you guys know the Kurt Franklin song, right?
Okay.
We want to be happy, right? You sing that song, I want to be happy. But then have you ever really listened to the words, right? What are the lyrics in that song? If I keep on doing the things that keep on bringing me pain,
Ooh.
there's no one else I can blame if I'm not happy.
Whoa.
The song doesn't say if he keep doing the things, if she keeps doing the things, if
they
they
need
keep
to change so I
if
can be happy.
exactly. That's not what the song says. So often we look outside of ourselves for what is going to make me happy. If the situation changes, then I'm happy. If I find this tall, dark, and handsome fella, if I find this beautiful woman with a good personality and beautiful eyes, right, that's going to make me happy. The truth is that if I keep on doing the things
Mhm.
that keep on bringing me pain,
Yep.
there's no one else I can blame if I'm not happy, right? Right. And what goes in accordance with that is that playing small. So Jason and I are just gonna get to the point tonight, right? We're just going to help you to understand and sit with this as we kind of put it out there to share with you, to share with us, to remind us as well as you, what does it take? What does it take to know what I want, right? Too many times we play small.
Oh, for sure. We play
Right.
small. We play small so we don't hurt the other person's feelings, so they can feel comfortable in the space that we're in, whatever the case is. So, I mean, playing small is just to uh keep the confusion down, any arguments, any of those things, but you become and you show up less of yourself in
Right.
these type of relationships. So,
Absolutely.
you have to be careful of that because if you continue to show up and be small, you're losing yourself.
Right.
And after a while, you're not going to even recognize who you are.
And most people will say, well, you say don't play small. Well, I don't play small, right? That's what people say. Well, that's not me. I don't play small. But what does playing small mean? Right? What does playing small mean? And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Do we have a comment or anything?
Yep.
All right. Oh, Jill, all right, your time.
Hey, what's going on at the time?
What's going on? All right, good to see you tonight.
How are you, Jatan?
All right. So when
Yep, playing small.
we talk about playing small, most people have the wrong idea of what that means.
Mhm.
Right. So I'm gonna let you know. You may look at me and say, all right, she got it together. She has a high self-esteem. She knows who she is, right? But I just want to take you back on this journey with me. So I found myself playing small, right? You say,
Mhm.
what?
What?
Right? I found myself playing small in a situation uh because I wasn't I didn't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. Right? I didn't want to let my light shine to make other people uncomfortable with who I was.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? And so I had to tell myself, like, okay, this is who you are.
Mhm.
Right? So why are you playing small to accommodate somebody else's insecurities about you? Right. And so you may think that we get to a point in our lives where we know these words, we know these triggers, we know these understands, we know who we are, right? We're walking in our own divinity, we're walking in our who we are. But then there's times when you go to a place where there's uh different people there that maybe you know or don't know, right? Even if it's at work or in your relationship. So in your relationship, you may have this huge personality, you may have this part of you that maybe it's misunderstood. So you go, okay, I'm going to try to change
Mhm.
and bring it down and play small to make somebody else feel comfortable. Right. And when I did that, I had to understand that now you guys tell me, right? Has anyone ever felt like this, right? You know your stuff, you know who you are, but then you find yourself kind of dimming your own light just to kind of make other people feel like they fit in. Or
Oh,
you dim your light because you don't maybe everybody else's light is not as bright, so you don't want to outshine anybody. Let me know if you've ever felt that way. So I found, and I had to have a conversation with someone. And I said, like, this is really bothering me because I feel like I have to play small in order to make them feel okay with me.
right.
And the person told me, that's just you. Be you. And it took me to understand that sometimes you just have to be you. When I'm trying to change for someone else instead of for myself or for the betterment of me, then I'm playing small. And so when we say we'll play small, so that was just, how do we get to a point in our relationship where we're comfortable with who we are
Mm-hmm.
by understanding what we need to change about ourselves? So, playing small is also having the wrong ideas, having the wrong beliefs of what playing small is. You're continuing to have the same beliefs, this right? So you're continuing to um have the belief that limited the type of relationship that you wanted,
Got you.
right? Or you're still feeling the same feelings that hurt you soon as you think about them again. That's playing small.
Oh.
Or you are bringing baggage from last year, last month,
Hmm.
last night
Yeah.
into today, holding on to whatever it is because you want to sit in your anger. That's playing small. Sometimes we play small so often, right? We don't we want to be upset. We want to let the other person know that I'm not going to let this go this time.
Hmm.
So we play small so much that when we want to play big, we can't. And what does play big mean? It means having the relationship that you really want. Having your mate express the love to you that you really desire and deserve, right? So if I'm constantly playing small by making little smart cracks at you, right? Saying
Right.
negative things, giving you the evil eye, thinking that, oh, I'm not going to have sex because that punishes him. Whatever the situation is in our relationships, playing small means that when it's time for you to experience, you want a better relationship, whether it's with the mate that you have or looking for a mate, right? Because some people are in the process of, I want to find that mate. So you play small so much with the other people, or you waste your time playing small, thinking that every man is the same and every woman is the same. That when it's time to play big, when that right person comes into your life, you can't play. The coach can't put you in the game
Nope, because
because
you're not ready.
you have been practicing,
Yep, you're not
right?
ready at all.
Absolutely.
All
All
right,
right. So,
so yeah, the time.
all right, maybe quiet to diffuse a situation, right? To not upset the other person, kind of settling.
Exactly.
And settling
Yep.
is another term for playing small,
Yep.
right? So we either make it when we're arguing, that's playing small.
Right.
When we're not finding, so playing small means anything and everything that doesn't contribute to the health of your relationship. Whereas not figuring out, if you know that something angers you and you're not finding a way to change the way you communicate with your mate, that's playing small. So that's what I said. Some people have a misunderstanding of what playing small means. Playing small means taking the negative approach instead of the positive approach, right? Or taking no approach.
Uh-huh.
How do I figure out a way? What do I look at? What do I read? What do I search? How do I get the information, the knowledge that I need to play big in my relationship so that my relationship can be big?
I like that because you said, playing small and looking at the negative and bringing up the negative. And thank you very so
Mhm.
much, sweetie. Yep, because that really shows up on Black, especially on camera. Right. I appreciate that. So it's
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Playing small when
Yeah.
when in a relationship,
Oh,
anything
yeah, the
negative.
negative, right.
Mhm.
So if you get yourself together, you can actually change the way you view the things that are happening in your relationship. You can take a negative and look at it in a more positive light, and then your interaction with your mate would be different. So you don't everything don't always have to be negative. Sometimes it was funny. Tina and I was working on something and we were coming up with things, right? So I ran off a few things that couples, struggle with. Mine were like all negative from a negative standpoint, right? It was highlighting all the situation, the issues, but they were all negative. And then Tina said, "Well, I have the same thing, but mine is from a different view." And I was like, "Wow, you know what? That's true. This is normally what couples go through, and this is how they actually look at it, the way that I was saying it." But then Tina was looking at it from a whole different lens. And I was like, you know what? I like your view better because it makes me feel better about the same situation.
So, for example, like most people, like we said, right? Most people want to be happy. So, my thing is, most people want to be happy.
Right.
And Jason's thing was,
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy.
Right?
Right.
So, let's take some comments. Let's read our comments real quick
Okay, sure.
as we can get into tonight's conversation.
Yep. Dennis. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis, happy
Yeah.
Friday. All right,
Sandra.
Sandra.
Hey, Sandra. How are you?
Settling.
Yep.
But making sure we understand that we're settling. We're settling for a less than relationship by playing small and not understanding that playing big means doing something different, right?
Here's the thing: you're settling, and then you're not happy with your relationship.
Right. Then you
Which-
got nerve to complain about what you're selling
Settling for
for.
it, right? Because you're settling for it.
Let's take another
Yeah,
comment real
yeah.
quick.
So this is Gail.
Hi, Gail. Good evening, cousins. Tina, you look simply beautiful. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
You
Yeah.
just-
And our
Thank you.
condolences, Gail. Gail lost her brother
yes,
last
the
week.
entire family.
Yep,
Absolutely.
guys. So we're praying with you. Just know that you're in our hearts.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Dennis says, yes, Tina, I kind of feel I'm losing me. But honestly, I guess it's for the betterment of the relationship. We're going to talk about that, Dennis,
Yeah.
because yes, sometimes I do need to be checked, as we say in Chicago, overdue at or says it at times,
Yeah.
overdo it at times.
Times.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. We do overdo it at times.
Yep.
So with part of that, into what do I want? What we really want to register with everyone tonight is and I'm gonna let Jason go into that deeper. Going into, we have to understand that there is a process in getting to a point where we know what we want. And that point is getting clear. And
Mhm.
oftentimes we don't know how to get clear because we think that we just don't know.
Right.
Right. And
We use it as an excuse.
we can
don't know.
we can look at our relationships with our mate or with our wife, and or with the people that we're in a relationship with, and if things are kind of hazy, you can look at your life and see if you're clear about what you want. Oftentimes we don't know what we want in our relationship. We're going by feelings, we're going by our emotions. We don't know what we really truly want, so we can't express that. But what we want to say to you is take the time to have an exploration, to figure out the inspiration that inspires you to go somewhere, and then get motivation to move, right? So you want to take those three things and get clear into sitting with yourself and going on this journey, what you need to go on to figure out, how do I get clear about what I want in my relationship and how do I get it?
All right, we got some more comments here.
All right. Yep, Jatan.
Yep.
Jatan say, Lauren Ashanti, I think that's her name.
Yep. Oh, she just added everybody.
Oh.
She's adding people.
Oh.
Okay.
Been
there,
done
done
that.
that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But we gotta understand. Let's bring him up. Bring him up.
Okay.
All right. All right. Dennis says, sometimes my male ego says, and we talk about male ego, right?
Yep.
She's not going to tell me what to post. But then I say, well, this may be a bad look on both of us overall.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And exactly, Dennis, it's looking through the lens of positive, negative, right? And asking yourself, why do I feel that I have to take control? Why is my ego? Because one thing about the ego is that it wants to be in control. I don't know if anybody knows that,
Yep.
but the ego wants to be in control. It wants to be in control of your life. And if we don't check ourselves, as Dennis say, right? If we don't ask ourselves, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling when she responds that way? And then taking the initiative to, as I said, take the exploration into the inspiration to find the motivation to change the way you feel about when she responds. All right, so Jatan says, bunch of name. All right,
Okay.
all right, Jatan, we got you. And all your names. All right.
I'm tagging people. Yeah, I kind of figured it.
Right.
You know
We
what? I
got you.
appreciate that. You
Yeah.
know what, Jatan, you're tagging people, and I appreciate the
So
fact
you
that we
can
didn't have to say it.
We
Thank
call
you.
we calling them out on the screen.
Yep.
You see your name on the screen. Jatan is tagging you and calling you out, guys. Let's bring those names up one more time, Jason. Yep. Let's look at these names. If you guys know these people, tell me.
Yep. They need to be on. They need to be on and be listening.
That's right.
That's right. They need to jump on here.
So, so what do you say about that, Jason?
Yeah. So we talk about exploring. So we have to explore our own self internally. We have to know what we really want. I had several conversations this week
Yeah.
with couples. And the thing was, okay, what do you want? And they sit there and look at me like I have the answer. No, I can't. I said, this is something I can't give you. I can't direct you. Only you know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, then you're going to have to dig deep and explore yourself, your feelings, your emotions, and everything to find out what it is you truly want.
Not the cliche.
Not the cliche.
Right.
You know what you want. I tell you this. You know what you don't want because you're always saying what you don't want.
That's what we say. What we
right?
don't want.
We'll tell you. We'll give you a list of things that we don't want.
Or the list of the things that the person is doing wrong.
Right. But it's hard for us to tell, well, you know, what do I really want? I'm not, well, I want this. Okay. Well, that's okay.
What does that look like?
Right.
Right. What does that feel like? What is that?
And why do you want that? I mean, like, do you think if you got that, that would really change your life? So it's a lot of different things that you need to work with when you explore.
Not only would it change it, but would you change to be able to receive it?
Exactly. So, now that's the other thing, right? So if the change was to happen, are you in the right frame of mind to actually make that change? To actually receive that when it comes to you, say,
or even know what it looks like, right? We're so stuck in the negative,
right? Because we're tough about fighting ourselves, right? So, and we talk a little bit about mirror work, and we may get into that tonight. But as we're exploring, and so I said, well, you might need to look at this. You go, man, that's a big change. That's go against me as a person as a whole. Well, maybe that's what it takes, right? Because if you don't like what's showing up in your life now, it's only a reflection of who you are. That's the only reason why it's showing up in your life now.
It's a reflection of your thoughts,
your actions, your feelings
that you do.
And another conversation I had was, a lady was saying, "Well, this is not what I want." I was like, "This is exactly what you want, because the universe is only giving you what you want. You can tell me and everybody else, I don't want this, but if it keeps showing up, it's truly what you want. That's the vibration that you're sending out, and that's what you're getting back.
And if it's not what you want, it's an indication that you haven't made the change that you need to make to get what you want. So if you're getting something that you want, you are you're an attractor of it, right? As we say, the law of attraction is real. So you are attracting to you what you're putting out. And if that's something that you do not want, then you have to explore. As we're talking about the exploration of self,
right.
Not exploring the faults of your mate,
nope.
Not exploring the past relationships, not exploring why he did this, why she did that. We're talking about you sitting down with yourself, taking a deep dive into the exploration of you. And if I'm attracting these things and I keep getting what I don't want, if my spouse is not showing me or giving me the attention that I want, right, the love that I need, the intimacy that I crave, what am I doing? What am I sending out? What vibration am I giving them that they're giving me something totally opposite? Am I sending out the opposite? That's what we have to take
into consideration.
Absolutely.
Right. So when we talk about exploring yourself. Yeah. Right. And we're not talking about exploring yourself from the past, because the past is not going to help us. Doesn't matter what the past is, no matter what happened, what past relationships, none of that.
As we learned from Reverend Jackie Lee's idea that we're only the now matters. The now of right now.
I wasn't in that conference, but I knew that. Right. Now is what matters, right? Because your past has already put you here now. This is the reason why you're where you're at, because of your past. It forms your present.
And if you focus on the past, the focus of the past is only going to create that same past for the future. So we have to be able to look at right now and understand, what do I need to focus on and change moving forward? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. I hope that didn't go over you all's head.
Nope, and I hope not. So if nothing changes, then you're you're stuck.
Then you're right back
Right.
in the past
But the
that
only
you just said you didn't want.
right, but if nothing changes, then we have to do something to make it change.
That's right.
So you have to inspire. Yeah, you have to have some inspiration. You have to get inspired to make a change because just saying it is not going to get it. You have to be inspired to make a change. You know, like sometimes we say we're losing weight, right? We want to lose weight, but we never really
Well, let's just
fully
stick with
commit to it.
relationships, right?
Okay.
So oftentimes we say, right, we want to change the type of relationship we have. And
Right.
so we do a little bit of
Oh
self-work.
yeah, a
And
minute.
so
Right. We change for a minute.
and we
Right.
see the results.
Right.
And then what happens?
Then we go back. Then we
W-
stop really exploring and continue to move forward, and we stop, and then we just kind of roll back down the hill into our same old self. So if you,
We go ahead.
no, I'm saying, so we start to roll back and be as we'll make a little bit of a
Progress.
some progress,
Mhm.
but then we turn around and we stop. We don't keep going. Why don't we keep going? One, we don't stay inspired, and we don't have the motivation to keep going. So you have to get motivated to keep moving to make yourself better, to dig down. So if I explore the new me and I like the new me, and it's contrary to the me that I am now, right? Because I'm going to be different. So it's a little bit, it may make you nervous. It may knock you off your square being this new person or trying to become this new person because you as an individual wants to come back and say, I like Jason the way he is, right? You don't need to change. You're okay, man. Right. So I need to keep my inspiration up and I need to get motivated. I need to keep motivated. Why? Because once I'm making a decision to change, what happens is after a week, I'm not doing the things that I said I was going to do. I'm not doing the mirror work.
We're
I'm
not
not praying
getting
and
clear.
meditating like I said I was. I let a few days go by and then,
Or we're not clear on the next step.
right. Well,
Right.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
so
After the next
initially,
step.
right. So initially when we get inspired, right,
Mhm.
we get inspired. Okay, I want to change. I want a better relationship. I saw someone that said I can do it. Right. So now I'm inspired to make that change. And now I'm motivated, right?
Yep.
We have to motivate ourselves.
yourself.
And I know in our relationship we've done that, right? Me personally, I've been okay, I know that I need to change. So now I know that this is what I need to do. And so I take those initial steps, right? And people have done this. We've taken those initial steps in areas of our lives in our relationship, and then we're inspired to do them. Then we're motivated because people go, wow, like I see a change in you.
Yep.
Wow, you're doing something different. So we're motivated to keep going, but then we don't know the next step after we've started that initial momentum,
Right.
right? And so
Right.
so we're going up the hill, but then we ask, well, what do I do next? Well, what do I really want? Well, where am I going?
Right.
And then or we make we it's so easy, as Jason said, to slip back if we don't stay clear as to what the next step is. It's so easy for us to fall back into the habits of what we used to do. And they're so gradual that that you don't even recognize them. It's because you're comfortable. You're slipping into the comfort of what used to be and what is. And the only way we can explain to you for us, once I was doing that, is that I had to recognize that I'm going back to the same old way of me. I'm
Exactly.
thinking the
You're
same
gonna
old
you're
way.
gonna slip back.
Right? We oftentimes say we want it, but I have to self-motivate myself. We have to be able to get into a rhythm where we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, you can do it. Right. And even if we don't know what to do, even if we don't know what the next step is, because sometimes we have these way large, outlanded wants and dreams and desires for our relationships, but it takes little steps to get there. It's the little things that matter, right? It's the
Mhm.
little getting up every day, being consistent to change the things that I need to change about me to change my relationship.
That's for sure.
Do-
All right. We got
All right.
hey, Vicky and
Hello.
Earl. Hey, Vicky, hey, Earl, how you guys doing?
All right. Welcome this Friday. Johnson, if you can't say amen, say ouch. Come on. Come on now, Tina. All right. Right.
Man, hey man, how you doing?
Hey, that's right. That's right. That's what we need to understand. Exploring means taking a different approach, which may cause you to step out of it has to cause you to step
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone. It has to
You
because
can't explore something and stay the same. It's just like you going out and exploring the country and then stay in the same place. That's not gonna happen.
problem with self-exploration is that we want to look at it we want to give ourselves grace.
Yes.
And we can't do that.
Right.
We can't do that. We want to be what is the word? we don't want to be really, really honest with ourselves. We want to go, well, okay, the reason why I do this is because they do that. The reason why this is because my parents instilled it in me. The reason why I feel this way or why I can't change is because my upbringing, right? My experiences with my mate or mates in the past. So sometimes we can't so when we say explore, like you got to go into this exploration
Right.
with the sense of, well, this is not me. You got to step outside of who you are and explore yourself for the truth. You can't change it. As we said, you can't change what you can't face.
Mhm.
And if you can't really take a look at yourself and be able to recognize in yourself maybe some of the things that you see in other people, then you're not going to be able to create that change to create that relationship that you want.
You know, there was a
You had
time,
Mhm.
yeah, there was a time that, excuse me, there was a time that I wanted to make a change, but I didn't know. Sure, I wanted to make a change, but I didn't know what the next step was. So I was kind of stuck. So wanting to change, not knowing what the next step is keeping me the same because I'm saying now I don't know. And you know, sometimes we have a tendency of just not doing anything when we don't know, or we say, I don't know what to do.
Right, right.
I want to
We,
change,
we sit around and
you
do
know.
nothing. Absolutely.
Right, and
Right.
that's not good, you know. So you guys just kind of have to understand. Have that ever really happened to you in your life? Have you ever, made a decision that you wanted to make a change?
Or you wanted your relationship to change, right?
Right. Yeah.
I want this to change.
You
I
want
am
this to
not
change,
liking the way things
but
are
you don't
going.
know where it goes. You don't know what's the steps to take.
What is the first step I take in changing my relationship? So we sit there and we sulk in the idea that we're unhappy. You know, we complain about it. We tell our neighbors, we tell our friends, we tell our coworkers, we tell everybody but our mate. They may know, may not know, right? I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. I don't like this. I'm unhappy in this relationship. Like something's got to change. But why don't we turn it around and look at ourselves and say, what is that needs to change? And when we don't know,
Hmm.
right? We we become still and stagnant, and then we go,
We get paralyzed.
right.
We
It's
don't know
easier
what
to
to
be
do.
comfortable or be happy. Yet,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I think she meant, is it easier to be comfortable or to be happy? Exactly. Comfortable is familiar, and
it is.
and that's. I'm glad you said that it's familiar because if something is familiar, then that means you know you're not changing.
Yep.
If you feel comfortable in the process that you're going through, if you don't feel some irritation, if you don't feel a need to inspire yourself to keep going,
There's
if you
no
don't
growth.
feel, if you haven't, so like today, I was in the gym and I felt like I like to motivate myself. Right? Sometimes you just got to motivate and inspire yourself. And I have to do that sometimes. And I don't care who's looking, and I don't care who hears me, because that's what we need to do. And if I can continue to keep myself in a place of happiness, then this man right here is going to get the overflow of happiness.
Yep.
Right?
And that's what I want. And you know what? It's going to be reciprocated.
Yes.
So it's going to make our relationship better. If I'm happy and I'm feeling good,
It's going to make me feel happy.
right, and my relationship is just going to soar from that point. So I don't have to worry about looking outside. Tina's doing her thing, I'm doing mine. But if I can bring my happiness to the relationship, it's just going to make the relationship there just that much better.
Let's get some more comment. All
Yep.
right. Gail says, in making the change, we may need to write it down and put it where we can see it as a reminder in case we get off track. And that is a very good point.
That is a good point, but we have vision boards too, but have things on it that we walk past and don't pay any attention to. We have to make a conscious effort. If we write it down,
We got to keep
if we
moving it.
journal,
We got to keep moving it.
we
We got to
have
keep
to
reading
we
it.
have to keep reading it, and you have to keep working with it. It's almost like getting a lesson, right?
Yeah.
You write it down, you study it. You
gotta
don't write it down
practice
one time.
You gotta
You don't write
practice
it down one time and then say, I got it, and then a test comes and you don't do so well.
Does anybody remember when your teacher used to make you write the words, like they would go home and say you have to write them 50 times
Yeah.
or 25
Not for
times?
punishment though,
Right,
but
right.
practice.
Right, exactly. So it's the same thing.
Right.
We have to write things down, but we sometimes the things that we want to change, we don't necessarily want our mate to tease it on us, right? So
Mhm.
or we don't want our mate to see it. Sometimes we got to do things in the privacy of our own space, right? We got to do that our own self thing. And sometimes if your relationship is not at a place where your mate is very supportive, you may want to put that someplace where only you see it.
Yep.
Right? So because we don't want your mate to say, well, I thought you said you were going to change doing that.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
So now you put that I'm no longer going to do XYZ or I'm going to change the way I do something. And now your mate sees it. They make a comment to you about it. Now Your motivation is not to do it. Your motivation is totally different, right?
For sure. All right, that's what we have.
My insecurities is expressing my wants and needs, then they are not being addressed in my mind. Do I give up my wants and needs to not lose my relationship, to lose my relationship, which is probably my own overthinking? I'm thinking I'm working against myself, and my partner is really not ignoring my wants and needs.
Exactly. But I
So,
need you to get with that, Dennis. I need you to get clear on your wants and needs. Sometimes we say we want it, but are we? Is it something that we really want, or is it just something that society says we want? And if I don't get it, then that means that I don't have a happy relationship. So you have to dig deep. I had a few conversations with people. One of the clients that we were working with this week, they were talking about their parents and the relationship that they had. And when things arose in their current relationship, they looked back and they thought about how their parents were interacting with each other. And they felt like if they argued or they had disagreements or something like that, that their relationship was a failure or on their way to failing because
because
they were holding it against something that they saw as a child. Right. So you can't really judge that. So your needs and wants, where are they coming from? That's what I'll say. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from a place of, I want this because I know that this is what a healthy relationship look like?
or do I want this because I think this is going to make me happy? Right? I want this. This is my need. I'm expressing to you what I want and what I need, which are two different things in itself. But also, you have to ask yourself, what am I demonstrating in that area of my wants and needs? Right? So, women want more intimacy, but they're not connecting with their mate in a way that induces more intimacy, right? Meaning the definition of intimacy to them and the definition of intimacy to their mate, right? So we have to understand the our wants and needs have to be addressed with us. We have to understand them. We have to understand them first, right? We have to stop looking at them as, I want this, I need this, and if you can't give it to me, then I'm unhappy, because that's not the truth. So the first thing is that you are in your mind. You're in your mind too much, but you're not taking time to be into yourself,
Mhm.
right? So before you can express your needs and wants to your mate, you have to be able to be at a place where you're satisfied with you 100%. I'm not saying that you're going to be perfect. I'm
Right.
not saying that everything in your life is going to be perfect. What I'm saying is that you are happy and grateful for where Dennis is right now. You're happy with the Dennis that is showing up, and you're continually doing work. But until you are happy with yourself, you can't express your needs and wants to your mate because they're getting mixed confusions. How can you want this when you're giving me that? How can you say you need this when you're not able to understand my needs? So again, the development of a relationship to a point from where it is now to where you want it to be, we have to look at that space where even as individuals, not even the relationship, individually, the person that I am right now and the person that I want to be in my relationship, how far of a distance is that? What are the things that I need to do? What are the steps I need to take to close that gap, right? And how much inspiration and motivation do I have to get there? How much time and delicacy and love am I showing myself for the parts that maybe are kind of hard for me? So we have to understand our needs and wants will be met when we meet them first. So we have to understand it all starts with us. And that's what this journey is about: relationships, the exploration of ourselves, the inspiration of ourselves, the motivation of ourselves to get to a place where I'm not who I used to be.
No.
I'm further than where I want. I'm further than where where I was, and I'm not quite there, but I'm happy with the journey. I'm happy that I'm making progression. The little steps matter. Sitting with yourself, and Dennis, I don't know if you do this, and Jason and I, we always talk about um, the technique of meditating, right?
Yep.
Meditation is a process that is very simple, but it gives so much clarity into ourselves, into our insight, into a higher level of understanding what we need, right? Because prayer is supposed to be our communion with God. It's us talking to God. Don't go to God and tell him everything you need. He already knows, right?
Yep.
But it's a connection. It's us establishing a relationship with God. But then, and if you don't pray, start your own way. But meditation doesn't have to be like a religious thing or something
It's just being silent.
it's being able to hear the things you can't hear because your mind is all over the place.
Yep.
Your thoughts are all over the place. Your life is all over the place. And that's an indication where you need to just, when we say if you don't have clarity, if you don't know the next step, don't do nothing, do meditation. Sit still and become still and just
Quiet your mind.
sit into the possibility of creating the type of relationship that you want. Focusing on the things that are good to you, focusing on the positives of life, not that my needs and wants are not being met. And I hope that I'm kind of answering this question for you without being, too personal but giving people the understanding that relationships are about understanding ourselves. And when we truly take the time to explore what it is we want, understand the inspiration on how to get there, and keep motivating ourselves to do the work that takes us day by day by day, because we have to erase all of the things that we've either didn't learn,
Right.
Wrongly learned, experienced wrong, right?
Mhm.
All these teachers that weren't teaching us the correct way of creating the type of relationship that we truly want. Do I have so? I mean, we could go on and on and on, but just Jason not being able to relate to that, right? Me at a place of understanding, I'm not getting what I want in this relationship. Jason at a place of, okay, well, what do we do to make things different, right? How do we understand each other where we feel like we're being neglected, right? Where we feel like we're not being appreciated. How do we change where we are? And then for us to get on the level where you and I are in agreement with what needs to be done, whether it's self work or work together or a combination of both. But you have to be willing um, to take a step back on pushing your wants and needs on your mate until
Exactly.
you fully understand
That's
who you are
exactly. Yeah. You pushing. Well, I won't say you, Dennis. I'm just saying
in general.
in general, you can start
We
to
as
like
people,
as people,
we as
push
relationships,
our wants and needs. Well, I need this, I want this, and these are the things that's
which
important.
are valid,
Which are right, but are they really that important? You need to just make sure that you're not just saying that because of something that you might have read or someone told you that this formula you need to have this and you should have this.
or are you saying it because you feel like there's a lack in it?
Right. And if it is a lack, then you need to fill that before somebody else can.
Exactly.
So the person is here, your partner is to multiply you, not to fill in any holes or anything like that. You take care of your own potholes, and then and then when they come, you guys are, she may come with the car, and then you guys can hit the road, right? Because everything is smooth at this point. But you have to work on all that because she work on herself, she builds the car, you guys get together, and off you go.
Let's read some more
Yeah.
comments. So Dennis, we can explore that
Yeah.
deeper, but just
But
have
I'm sure Dennis got some more comments. When you get close to the bottom, yeah, exploration is new and new. And
is a new and new
sometimes. Yep.
exploration is new and new sometimes.
Yes, it is.
We're gonna make sure we saying this right. Vicky
Yeah.
says, "Great, glad to be back on."
Yes, we missed you.
glad to have
Yes.
you on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So exploration is a new, and new sometimes can be uncomfortable and painful. But if change is to be occurred, exploring is inevitable. You can't change without exploring what needs to be changed.
You sure
If I
can.
have a flat tire, I have to figure out which one is flat. I can't just say I'm gonna change the tire and then I change the front one and it's the back one that's flat, right? So we can't change anything until we understand what it is we need to change. And really the change is us. What do I need to change in myself to help me to see things in a different light, in a different manner, in a different way, right? Because we so often want to say that everything is the same because of what happened, right? But the reason why that it's the same because nobody is rewriting the narrative.
Nope.
You're still reacting the same way. I'm still reacting the same way. I'm still thinking the same way. You're still thinking the same way. We think we want change. We think because
And we got the
we
same
think because we
relationship.
walked out the room that's a change, but that's not.
Yep. With the same relationship.
It's almost like making a vision board, right? Make
Mhm.
it an obvious, make it on obvious and
And
plain,
yeah.
then take that step. We won't know until we try it. Come in now,
Come on now, Scott.
Come on,
I know,
come
I
on now.
know.
That's right.
I
You have
know.
to read up like, okay, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. That's why communication is so important in a marriage. But communicate with yourself. Are we
Yeah,
communicating? Are we see we're communicating,
communicating.
but are we communicating effectively? I'm being honest with ourselves. Because sometimes we really don't want to look at the things
Do you
that is ugly about us.
right, do we ever do, like, self-talk to ourselves, right? Do we or we always agree with ourselves? Right? Do you look in the mirror and totally agree with everything that's going on in your life and where you're at? Or do you get in the mirror sometime and check yourself? Or do you just avoid that conversation with yourself altogether?
Right. Let's look at the next one. So let that sit with you guys.
My partner has notes all over the house.
I hope you're reading them.
Yeah.
I hope you're reading what she's saying so that
Reading
you
them, take
that's
them
right.
in, but don't comment on them and don't bring them up when you disagree. Like you said that you were going to stop doing this.
Right. For you.
Oh, she's tagging.
That's right. That's right. So Dennis says, yes, and unfortunately, we are miles apart due to our background upbringings.
Yep.
I'm struggling to relate to my partner and her to me.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
first, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So first, we're gonna forget about the past, all right? Because you can't let the little Dennis dictate the grown, mature adult Dennis.
That's the same thing with your mate. They can't
Yes.
let,
Yeah.
we just said,
You can't let the little you control the adult you.
you can't let the past dictate what's going on right now. And that's why we're talking about exploration.
Right.
We're talking about change. We're talking about one, the exploration brings awareness.
Yeah.
Now I am aware of what took place in the past. I am aware of what I need to heal from. I am aware of where I need to change and where I need to do it, what I need to do for me, right? In order to make it better for my mate. But before all of that, if we read that comment, let's look at that comment in a different way. So instead of saying we're struggling, right?
Mhm.
You and your partner are struggling.
All right.
Let's change the terminology.
Mm.
My partner and I are currently working through our issues, which sometimes makes it difficult to understand one another. That's a positive. You're looking at it positively. There is no struggle.
See, Dennis, that's what I'm talking about.
There is no struggle.
Right.
There's only a struggle if you tell yourself a struggle. And if you keep telling yourself it's a struggle, guess what?
You're gonna have struggle.
It's a struggle.
Right.
If you keep telling your mate, we're not getting anywhere, this is a struggle because you don't understand my past and I don't understand your past, it's not going to change.
Nope.
What has to change is your perspective of what's going on.
100%.
What has to change is your perspective of the issues. The issues don't change, right? Your past is your past, her past is her past, your upbringing. It doesn't change. What changes is the way that you look at them, is the way that you approach them, the way that you both conquer them.
Mhm.
Jason and I have said many times, it's not you against her issue and her against your issue. It's you and her coming together, sitting the issue out in front, saying that is what our issue is right now.
That's why
How do we work on it together? And how do we break this down where it no longer is between us, but in front of us, and we're both actively working on it? Right?
And that's
An
what we have to
issue-
get to. We have to get the issue from between us, set it out in front of us, and we can attack.
And it's just
the
an issue. The thing is that we're not living our past. So
Right.
why are we reliving our past? If the past was not something
Pleasant.
pleasant and happy and you want to relive it, why
Right.
are we constantly living in the past? Why are we carrying? We talked about this last week, right? Them book bags. Why are we carrying around garbage that no longer serves us?
Right.
Why are we carrying around
You've
bricks?
got your, I'm sure you've gotten your lesson
Yes.
and
if you
you're ready to
haven't-
move on, but it's hard to move on if we're constantly talking about the past.
We're constantly making excuses and defending why we do what we do.
Right.
Then we're not really looking for change.
You know what? I know Dennis had said that about the past and all this other stuff. Don't worry, Dennis. We had some coaching sessions this week, and that came up a lot about the past. That's why we just kind of was talking about that as well, because we're not only talking to you, but we're talking to a few other clients as well, and that's just because of the past can't control you right now. You have to stay in control of where you're
If
going.
the past is controlling you, then you're living in the past. The past has the control. You're giving away your power to something that happened a long time ago. Who's in
And
control?
how far are you going back in that past, you know?
So what's the next comment? All right, so let's keep thinking about that.
Oh,
My
my
partner.
partner says notes all over the house.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, yeah.
that one.
Oh,
One more. Yep.
oh, that's so nice. Thank
Thank you
you.
both.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You're
Dennis,
welcome,
I get you,
Dennis.
sometimes the truth can be a little hard to digest, but we hope that in our way of explaining this, we've gone through the same experience, right? We've gone through the issue of that's not the way my family did things. That's not the way I learned to do things. That's not the way I do it, right? Me having to the issue of whatever it was in our relationship between us. Now I think that I have to defend my side of the relationship and or my side of the issue. And now he has to defend his side of the issue, whether he's for it or against it. So now we're fighting against the issue between us. We're fighting. But
Yep.
the real thing is, how do we resolve the issue? That's the only problem. How do we, because if we can resolve this, if we can find a way where we can together collectively, if we're not fighting against each other, then we can actively take our energy to resolve this to a matter where it's no longer an issue in our relationship. And if something's not an issue in your relationship, you don't think about it anymore.
That's right.
It no longer has purpose, it no longer has value, it has no longer has a stance in between you guys. Right?
That's right.
So Kelly says, I set individually healthy goals, right? And dreams that I can see. Having a clear vision for where I'm headed is motivation for me to continue to do the work on myself to grow and improve in every area of my life. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's what we do. But are we playing small in those goals? Are we taking the viewpoint of what we want and what we want in our mate into our clear goal? I want a man or I want a mate that is going to treat me with respect. I want a mate that is going to love me when I want to be loved. I want a mate that's going to make me happy. That's playing small. Playing big when you're setting goals for yourself is I'm now going to view my past and everything that happened to me in a different manner and make it work for me instead of against me, right? Am I making clear goals where those goals, because you said for yourself, those goals are now changing me as a person where anything that happens that used to trigger me, I'm now seeing it through the lens of positivity. I'm now being able to shift my mindset, my perspective to not look at things the way I used to look at, but that uncomfortableness of what part am I playing? Why I keep experiencing this? Why I keep thinking this? Why
Mhm.
why I'm not feeling fulfilled, right? What am I doing to make myself happy with me and not use any experience, any baggage, any past hurts, um, even an hour ago, not control who I am, right? We have to be in the driver's seat of our relationships. And in order to do that, we have to be in the driver's seat of our own self. I hope you want to say something? I know
If I
you were
do,
doing the messages. All
I
right.
know. Why, but I
I don't
can.
have a vision board yet, but I do use post-it notes and post positive thoughts and affirmations. But Kelly, let us give you another tool to work with that. All right. So it's not a but, it's an and. Another tool to work with your post-it notes about affirmations, you got to deny the other things. So,
Right. You gotta
and
have
I,
affirmation.
right. So to people who use this technique, so affirmations are putting it in place of something else. But if you still have the negative things next to the positive things, the things that feel comfortable to you
Yeah.
are going to override the things that you're now trying to convince yourself or to stay positively motivated, right? So we have to put next to that and post a note. If I say, um, I'm going to be happy, that's my affirmation to myself. I want to be happy. I'm going to be happy. The next to that, I have to stop believing that I am unhappy. I have to stop telling myself that I'm in an unhappy place. I have to stop doing things that demonstrate or uh, artificially tell me that I'm unhappy. So we have to deny something that it's true and then replace it with the thing that we want. So now we're exchanging one negative for a positive instead of putting them together. Now that negative no longer exists. So if that could be a tool that you could use, what
To
we've
go along
used is
with
what
your
we've learned.
affirmations.
Yes, absolutely. Try that also. So next to those positive affirmations, put something to deny what is showing up other than what you really want. All right, let's look at the next one.
No, Dennis said right on. Thanks a lot.
All right. All right, Dennis. We know you a working man. You're probably going to get off real soon. Being aware of who I am now, absolutely, and understanding myself, I see the work as motivation towards positive elevation and the goal of continuing healing, growth, and permanent change and wholeness. I'm in control of my now.
Yes.
Exactly. And as you do that, don't let seeming difficulties give
Take
you a
care.
setback.
Right. To suck you back in. Right.
Because change is uncomfortable. And our old habits are habits because we let them in and we made them feel comfortable. Now we want to kick them out and they're gonna not gonna leave without kicking and screaming. So don't let any little small setbacks, arguments, things that look negative, and
Right.
I say seemingly negative,
Mhm.
don't let that deter you. Let that motivate you to realize that there's really more work to do or that you're closer to your breakthrough because now you're experiencing something different because comfort is no longer an issue. State the problem and work on the solution. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
But state the problem in a more positive light. So
No,
what?
she's talking about denials and affirmations.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I got you.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
You is that
Yeah. That's
okay?
it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
She said
Yes,
yes.
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 Yes, yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So guys, we are definitely so glad that you came with
Yes.
us, but we want to let you know that it doesn't matter what the situation is in your relationship, right, Jason?
That's right. No matter what it is, we can explore ourselves, we can inspire ourselves, and we can motivate ourselves through any situation. So the problem is people think that I need just all these different principles or techniques and tricks and all sorts of stuff to make myself better. There are a few that you may need, but if you can start to um, explore yourself, inspire
Inspiring.
yourself, and motivate yourself, no matter what you put into yourself, you can overcome any situation. It could be an affair, it could be bankruptcy, it could be anything, right? You guys don't get along, lack of communication. If you take those pillars and work with those, it will take care of all that. There's other things that you're going to need to do, is other techniques and things that we have, but we found that if we can explore ourselves, because sometimes we need to dig a little deeper. I mean, we're still doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So as we continue to dig deeper, and explore, because things come up, right? So you say, "Oh, you know what? We mastered this. We baby, we got this. We good."
Right.
And then we turn around and be like, "I don't think we good. You know, we need to go and explore some more because this keeps coming up, and I didn't learn what I need to learn from this. So I need to go back in and work on me." So
And be clear about those things
right,
that you need to work
because
on.
sometimes you think you're clear,
Right.
but you're not.
Right.
And then, it kind of subsides the situation. You're like, oh yeah, we took care of that. That's
Right.
not a big deal. But then it rears its ugly head. And then you go, oh, I didn't clear that up. Maybe I need to go back and explore some more.
And what you understand is that we're gonna slip back, right?
Hmm.
Because like we said, the comfort zone. Comfort is easy. Habits are easy. It takes true intention to make the change. So get clear on what it is you need to do and understand that sometimes it's not the big things you need to do, it's the little things.
That's it.
It's the looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that I love you and I'm going to work on you in
Yeah.
order for you to get the relationship that you want. It's the little things. When we don't know what to do, sometimes stop trying to do everything. Stop trying to find the big answer and just find a little step that you can take. So let's get clear in the direction that we're going. And then give yourself permission to explore, to
Yeah.
do those things that you need to do, to be honest with yourself, to really take a look at your negative sides because we all have them.
Right.
How
And recognize your negative sides and see it, like Tina said, from a more positive light. That's what makes a difference. Sometimes we think that by highlighting the negative, that we're fixing ourselves.
right.
But if you talk about negative, you highlight negative, you're gonna get more negative
Because that's what you're focusing on.
because that's what you're focusing on. But
Right.
but we're taught to, you got to bring that stuff out so we can fix it, right? But it's our perception. So if we change our perception of it and just spin it around in a more positive light, now it's positive in,
Positive
positive
out,
out,
positive all around.
around.
Right. So as I said, give yourself permission to keep yourself motivated. You don't need somebody else to motivate you.
Yeah.
You don't need a situation to deter you. Just give yourself permission. I give myself, look in the mirror, I give myself permission to keep working on me. I give myself permission to look at my ugly and then say, how can I change it? Give yourself permission to do what needs to be done in the work inside of you, that then give yourself permission to work on your relationship as well. And then welcome the journey.
Yeah.
Welcome the journey that is going to take you on. Don't be so in a rush to get there, because when you skip steps, then
Mm.
you find yourself back at square one, right? Take the time to do the work, to explore what needs to be done, to inspire yourself to keep going, and then motivate yourself in whatever way you can. If it's just playing a song, thinking of something that of happier times, finding the positive in yourself, the positive in your mate, the positive in your relationship,
Mhm.
right? Don't always look at the negative. Find that one positive thing in your relationship that you can focus on and grow more from that, right? How can we grow out from that instead of, you know, suffocating it out?
That reminds me. It takes me back to a time when I took Tina down south for the very first time, and Tina just kind of was like, "Are we there?" Like, how long is it going to take? I was like, you have to enjoy the process, right? But that's the problem, right? We decide
Yeah,
we want to make a change,
right,
and we have a tendency of want to hurry up and get to the end, right? We're not even enjoying the
right,
process. So,
right.
tell me, have you ever had that happen? You said, "I want to make a change,"
And then you want to see it right
but you
away.
want to see it right away. Now, when
Yeah,
you set out on a destination, you don't see that destination.
right.
You don't. You just know that
You're gonna get
I'm
there.
gonna travel. I'm gonna go through some things, and maybe some weather, and maybe some winding roads. You never know what you might find on the road. That's why we're always blessing each other before we get on the road. You never know what you may run across,
Right.
but you get to the
And
destination,
you know the time period. You know it's
right?
gonna take time. And
But you
we
have to enjoy the process. So
yes.
when we're in these relationships and we're in marriages and we're trying to get better,
Or we're trying to create that relationship,
we
right?
have to enjoy that process of going from here to here.
Of changing myself so that I
Yes,
can really enjoy the relationship when it
right.
comes.
Don't look at it as a burden. Enjoy the process.
Motivate yourself.
Right.
Motivate when
And
I
that'll motivate you. If you, I mean, like it's really exciting when when you enjoy something,
it
right?
is.
Versus this, oh man, I gotta do this again.
It's a
I
it's
gotta,
and
it makes it hard.
just to comment on what you were saying, sort of like that first trip to down south, I was like, "Oh my god, are we there yet? Oh my god." I kept going to sleep and waking up and going to sleep and waking up, and I started to get irritated. I was like,
Yep.
"God, how
And
long
I'm
is the trip?"
enjoying the ride, right? Because
But
I'm, yeah,
now we are road people. We
yeah,
love road trips
yeah.
because we learn to once Jason started taking me on these road trips and we started traveling and we started making memories and we were singing and making being stupid and having fun and being able to stop and have breakfast and just enjoying the ride. We enjoy ride trips. So most people say, "Oh, that's too long. I don't want to sit in the car that long." It's not the journey. It's not the start and finish. It's what's in
In
between.
between. That's
It's
it.
what are we doing in between? We're making memories instead of getting on the plane and being smushed in the seat and getting nuts or
Or
pretzels or whatever. We're enjoying the ride. That's what makes us enjoy road trips because we get an opportunity, one, for him and I to really talk with, don't have to worry about nobody else listening,
yeah,
right? We can get real conversations. We can get real nasty. We can get real ugly. Or we can just be real nice, whatever. Or if we just want to have peace and quiet,
yeah.
we are enjoying the journey. So many people want their relationship to change on a dime because they've made the decision that their mate needs to change and they're taking too long. Doggone it, it's taking to you not
It don't take this long to
right.
have this type of, sure it does.
Enjoy the journey. Give yourself grace, right? Enjoy it. Explore yourself. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What does that relationship feel like? What does it feel like when I'm having my needs met? Because now I'm able to give to my mate in a different way, right? Sometimes I feel it and I am not with my partner. Yes, I need to figure out how to overcome this thought process.
Yep. Let it go.
And that's
Yeah.
playing small, Dennis. When our thoughts are controlling our minds, we have to now you are letting the habit of being yourself,
Yep.
right? You are letting all the things that you know to be true jump up in your thought process. And
Yep.
now it's controlling your life instead of you controlling your life from the now,
If you
right?
don't control your thoughts, you'll be all over the place.
All over the
Yeah.
place.
Your life will be
And so
swinging left and right.
Dennis, what I would say with you is that right now, let's take the time to work on Dennis and quieten his mind and self-talk about the negative things and the thoughts that you think, like my needs are not being met. partner is not understanding my wants, let's change those thoughts that to just a suggestion, right? And this is for all of us, me included. When I have negative thoughts, I tell myself, I'm working on that, right?
Yeah.
That's not the truth that is really being displayed. I only see it as the truth, but I want the truth to be revealed to me. I want to understand the process, right? My mate is giving me my wants and needs are being met by my mate because my wants and needs are being met by me. And I'm showing them what my love language is. I'm showing them how to love me because I'm loving myself. I can't want him to love me if I have no idea what that love feels like. I have to be able to express to him that I need more love by loving myself more, and then him feeling the love and then wanting to give me more, right? Because when you're happy, you want to give more of yourself. Love is a universal harmonizer. When you have love, everything looks totally different.
Yep.
All right, let's get some more. So Dennis, definitely let's start with the quieting of the negative thoughts about what you think is not, that word not, and let's switch it around. Let's start changing and speaking things from a more positive perspective so that your mind can say, wait a minute, Dennis, what's going on?
Yep.
What's going
You're
on?
really changing. You're really changing.
And your body starts shaking, Dennis, and you know that now you're listening. Now your subconscious is listening. Use those tools and do the work with a positive attitude.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it, Kelly.
Positivity and love really heals. I know I want to spend the rest of my life with my partner. Period. That's it. That's it. That's in a nutshell right there.
You want to add some adjectives?
You don't even have to, because if that's what you truly want, then that's what you need to make happen. And how do you do that?
Now that you said that,
yes,
job now, Dennis, is to sit down and what is that? What do I want to make what I said my reality?
That's right.
And then you need to work back on what you need to do, not your mate.
Right.
What needs to happen, because when you work on you, everything else will fall in place. And sometimes we don't believe that because nothing has ever happened like that before. That's because we're always trying to fix it instead of just letting it fix itself.
Yeah. Like, stop letting your mind, stop letting your past, stop letting all these things that does not matter to interfere with spending time or spending the rest of your life with the person that you truly love.
Or as you say, stop letting the things that don't matter. Period.
Right. So let's get rid of the things that does not matter so you can be together. That makes no sense to have someone that you love, but you guys just can't see eye to eye. If you're truly working on yourself and you guys are truly working on this together, then you can easily make this happen. Because it's a choice.
We start working on yourself and then on the issues together. Right. Maybe do one at a time.
Take care of your needs. And when you guys come together, then you'll show up differently.
And what tonight was all about, what do I want?
Right.
What do I really want? Let's get real with ourselves. Yeah. And whatever you want, let's explore the opportunity of ourselves. What is preventing us from getting it? Because it's us. We're preventing ourselves from getting whatever we want. And if that does not sit well with you, it didn't sit well with me the first time either. But then I realized I was the issue in my relationship.
Yeah,
I was the problem. I was putting up those barriers because I needed to be right. I couldn't see, everything else because my view was this, right? So the thing is that what do I want? And happiness is not clear enough.
Right.
You want, what does happiness look like, right?
Right.
Because I may think happiness means a clean house. He may think happiness means cooking him dinner every day. What is happiness? Let's not be general. Let's be very clear. Very clear is what I want to use, right?
Right.
What do I want? Let's get clear and let's take little steps to get there. And every day, let's inspire ourselves that we can have it, and let's motivate ourselves to keep going to get it. All right?
Yeah.
Because we can have those relationships if we are doing the work and we want it and we're taking the steps. Let's stop looking outside of ourselves. Let's stop blaming our partner. Let's stop saying, yeah, I know. Let's stop reacting and acting, but let's just take the time to just sit with those, right? To sit with the exploration of ourselves, the inspiration of ourselves, and the motivation of ourselves to create the relationship that we really want because we deserve it and we desire it, and it can be.
Now, Dennis, I want you to put this up around the house. The little sticky notes and stuff. I'm serious. You
Right.
need to remind yourself, what you're working on here. You have to keep it in front of you.
And what does the rest of your life look
Look
like,
like
right? What
with
does that look like?
with your partner, wife in it. What does that life look like? That's all that matters. Just
Is
from
it a
this point forward, you already have
is it
your marching
happy? Is it
orders,
understanding? Is it
right?
joy? Is it communication? Is it being able to express without anybody's feelings getting hurt? Are we able to help, each other with our egos? Are we recognizing the weaknesses of each other and helping us build them, or are we tearing them down? Right? So think about all of that. All of those things play a part in relationships. What am I doing in my relationship? How can I change it? Because the truth is, your mate does not need to change. You need to change. And when
Exactly.
you change, everything else is inevitable to change. It's a triple down effect. It's a you know trickle down effect. Oh Lord.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm here to learn more. It's a process that's worth it for me.
Yes,
100%.
absolutely,
Yeah.
anything,
Enjoy,
yes, anything
enjoy the
for your life is
process.
a
Right.
process, and it is definitely for you,
Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
that's what
But
life is about.
we've
That's it,
said, just make sure you enjoy the
the
process, the
process.
journey.
Beat yourself up,
Right.
don't beat yourself up,
Yeah.
it's a process.
It's joy in the journey
Mhm.
because when you guys actually get together, it's going to be wonderful because you're going to look back and, oh, we had so much fun leading up to this point.
And
That's what it's all about.
just read something and master it by reading it.
Yeah.
My God, we
Yeah.
would all be geniuses, right?
Yep.
No, it
Yeah. I
takes
would have passed a lot of them exams in school had I did
right.
that.
Let's enjoy the journey, guys. Let's enjoy the journey with ourselves as we explore ourselves, and let's enjoy the journey with our mate because it's going to be worth it in the end. The process can be a wonderful process of seeing the change of seasons. Yes, self change. Enjoy it and laugh along the way together. Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to stop being so serious about things. Like,
Right.
you know,
Stop thinking that it's hard.
yeah,
First
yeah,
it's like, oh, I have to change. It's going to be so difficult and all. No, because if you believe that, then that's what it's going to be, and that's what you're going to manifest in your life. So,
that's right. So let's look what Dennis saying, and we're going to go out and close this out. Yes, and I'm just everywhere sometimes.
yeah, and
That's
we
all
all
right.
are.
That's
But
all
you know
right.
what? Sometimes
But
then
now
it's
that you're aware of it,
you can reel yourself back in. When your mind start taking you, like, oh nope, you got to be the gatekeeper of your mind. Like, nope, you got to come on back here. No,
well, the
these are the
first thing is
thoughts. Right. These are
that's part of the exploration. What am I doing that I need to stop? And that awareness, being aware of what you're doing and then changing it.
yes,
Right?
brother Jason. Yep. It's all from love, Dennis.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we hope that what you're asking, Dennis, that someone else that may be listening and going through the same situation, that it can help them. And that's why I appreciate you. I
Yes, I
appreciate your
really do.
honesty, Dennis, because
Yes.
so many men are afraid to be vulnerable, to ask these questions, to say, like as you said, I'm having these issues in my relationship. How do I help it? Right? Because that's what we want. We're here to answer questions, to help you, to give, not that we're experts, not that our marriage is perfect, not that we have all the answers,
Right.
but if we can give you some tools and techniques that we've used that have worked in our relationship, and that we can give you some hope that relationships can be happy, because we truly want to change the mindset around relationships. We want people to understand that having that same fire breathing wonderful experience that when you guys first met, it can continue. And as a matter of fact, it gets even better when you reconnect, when you reestablish those bonds, when you realize that what couldn't break you makes you stronger, right?
That's
That's
right.
sometimes it's not about getting a new mate, it's
Right.
getting a new perspective.
That's right.
It's getting a new tool to use, right? If you go outside and you need to cut the grass, there's no way I'm going to get a cup of water. That's not going to help me cut the grass. So we have
No.
to get the right tools for the right job to get the right outcome. All right. Honestly, my words are too harsh at times. She is a flower, and I'm so accustomed to cactus.
Yep.
And Dennis, that is another point in your book for being aware,
Yep.
for being aware. And so now you need to ask yourself,
I love
how do I change that? How do
right.
I stop
How to constantly show her that you love
that
her.
she's a flower?
That's it.
That she's a flower.
Right.
And so the thing is that when Dennis, you have to really go deep with this, because the truth
Right.
of the matter is, it doesn't matter what you've dealt with. The point is,
Right.
you can't show love if you don't know what love feels like to you.
Mhm.
And so maybe all those cactuses were giving you thorns, or whatever cactuses have those little, but so take time to love yourself. Take time to, because when you truly understand what it feels to love yourself, you're going to be able to water that flower and all she's going to feel is love. And when she blossoms, you're going to be, oh my God, this is a bouquet that I never knew I could have.
Yeah.
So continue to do the work on yourself. And you are definitely in the right direction because you are becoming aware. So many people don't want to say the things about themselves that are negative, that is really the root of the issue. If you can get to the root and then pull it up, get those weeds out, we can have a beautiful lawn and a beautiful garden.
That's all it takes. You got
All
a little
these
fertilizer.
metaphors, I
Yeah,
don't know.
all this fertilizer and all that stuff. That's how you get a pretty lawn.
That's
That's all.
right.
So if you walk past someone and, as my dad called them yellow tops all in your lawn, then you know that they're not fertilizing, they're not working on their lawn.
So
Right.
something
Whatever
has to
shows
be
up, it
changed.
just shows up, right?
That's
So you
right.
just have to work it. So if you want to spend the rest of your life with your partner,
That's
soon to
anyone.
be
This is
wife,
to everyone. If you want to
anyone,
spend, you
the
want to
rest of
find
your
someone
right.
and you want to spend the rest of your life with them in happiness.
Yes. Do the things that lead you to that. Don't do anything counteractive to
Absolutely.
that.
That's right. Ask yourself before you do or say anything, is this going to be a positive statement to my mate, or is this going to tear down our relationship further?
And I don't, you talked enough about the past, and I'm sure with other people or friends or whatever. It's enough about the past, right? Now we're in the second quarter of the year. We are in the second quarter, right? Yep. Second quarter. We're in the second quarter of the year, right?
Yes.
All right. So we only, it's time for us to move, right? So we're done with the past. We dealt with that already. We're elevating, right? Now we got somebody that we know we want to spend the rest of our life with, and we know we love her. And now it's time to put those things right into action, right?
Because we can
From this
have love.
point forward, there's no more talking about that, I'm this way because of this. Nope. You're the mature Dennis. Or person. I won't just pick on Dennis.
We
you
are.
we
We are the
are
mature person in our
right
relationship.
now, right? I can make good sound decisions about my life, about my emotions. I can stay in control of my emotions. I know what's right and wrong. I know what feels
Yep.
good.
When it comes out of your mouth or your thoughts.
Exactly, right?
Absolutely.
And I know what to say if I want to hurt somebody, right? So control that. Own up to your own stuff.
To yourself. Do
And,
the work on yourself.
and that's what's going to make the difference once you control yourself. But again, explore, right? Pick apart the difference between, should I say this? But, I'm saying this, but I feel this.
And now, Dennis, I don't know if you remember this episode on the Friday Night Live. I told you that for a week, every thought that comes into your mind, ask yourself, is this the thought that I need to think that gets me to where I want to be?
Yep.
Right? If you want a life of happiness and love with your mate, is this thought a thought that's in alignment with what I want? If it's something that goes against it, then it's not something you want to think. If it's something that's negative, then it's not something you want to think. If it's something that's struggling with the this is the problem, this is the issue, then that's not the thought you want to think. You want to change your thought. You want to stop those thoughts immediately. And that's why I said sit with yourself, right? Sit with yourself and practice being in control of your thoughts. So again, I'm going to ask you to do, everyone out there, including myself. I constantly do that, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm someplace and feel myself getting to that point for whatever reason, whether it's the waitress, whether it's something that Jason said or did, whether it's something he didn't do, right? Whatever it is, and the first thought we want to think is something negative. It's so, I don't know why. Like our society is always think the negative, and then you got to come back and fix it with the positive. But I stopped myself. I said, is this a thought that you want to think that keeps you in alignment with who you want to be, that is in alignment with the relationship that you want, right? That's in alignment with the person that you are becoming, and forgetting the old Tina, the old quick timber, the old sarcastic remarks, the old way of, I'm going to say this to him because he's going to feel it. And all it does is hurt my relationship.
That's it.
All it does is make me more bitter and more sour. So every thought I think, if I feel like it's a negative thought, I stop it and I ask myself. And it's hard. It's hard because sometimes we want to be mad. Sometimes I want to show you I'm mad. So I have to say, Tina, what does mad get you? Is it
Nothing.
going to get you the result that you want? Is it going to, if you're mad at him and you're showing him anger, is it going to get you some love? Is he just going to love you all up because you're mad? Heck no. He gonna turn to me and say, what the heck is your problem? I don't want to be bothered with you. Right? So this is where I have to kind of continue to do my self-work on the things, because as I said, I fell back into that playing small. And I had to tell myself, I'm not going to play small with negative thoughts. I'm not going to play small with negative actions. I'm not going to play small to make somebody else comfortable. If I'm going to be true to myself, I have to do the things that help to uplift, encourage, and enlighten me. And that's what we want you to do for you. And when you do that, it does the same thing in your relationship. That's what we're trying to get across. Relationships become what you make them. It requires work. They just don't happen.
Nope.
And what does just happen is that you grow
Issue.
apart.
Yep. You
Issues.
have issues.
Absolutely.
Right.
What
Issues don't have no problem coming just like them yellow tops in your
Yep.
grass.
Yep. Spend one season
Not fertilizing your lawn. And boy, you have a
Right.
mess next year.
All right, let's see what Dennis
Listen,
said.
thank you. I enjoy every Friday. And you know what, Dennis? We thank you and we
Yes.
appreciate you. We appreciate
truly do.
all
We
you.
appreciate each and every one of our
Yes.
viewers that tunes in. We thank you for the comments we get behind the scenes. We thank you for just taking this journey with us to change the mindset and the realization that relationships and marriage are a blessing and they can be blissful. We thank you guys because we ask you, which we didn't do yet, right?
Mhm.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go
Yep.
to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that you know when we're coming on. You know when we put out a new podcast.
And-
You know when we're doing something. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you go to legendaryrelationship.com/info, you can get all the things that we have. Sometimes I don't think we do a good job of
Promoting it,
promoting
but we're
it.
gonna do better.
Yep. Because we're going to, if you go over there, we have a whole YouTube channel. This is also broadcast on YouTube if you're coming in from Facebook. So you go over there and it's a whole nother conversation as well. I do want to bring this other conversation up here. Victoria Green.
Emotional intelligence and key. Absolutely.
Thank you
Yes,
very much for
yes.
that, Victoria. We appreciate it.
We have emotional intelligence. Yeah, it is key. Everything is key.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely true. A lot of times people say they're not emotionally intelligent. And the thing is that recognizing that, as we said, recognizing where your faults lie.
Yes.
You recognize where your faults lie. Don't point them out to your neighbor, to your friend. Don't tell your mate you're emotionally, emotionally no. What she just said.
Oh,
Yeah, your emotional intelligence is low, right? You don't have you're not emotionally mature. Right.
That's a whole nother thing.
Right. So the problem is that we're
emotional
quick.
intelligence.
So we're quick to let's make sure that this journey of making our relationships better starts with us. Right. So am I emotionally intelligent? Am I able to control my emotions when things really hurt me deeply? Am I able to control my reactions to the same things that my mate says to me? Where am I standing in this? Where are my flaws? Right? If I want my mate to say better things to me, how am I handling it?
Yeah.
How am I showing them that this
That's
is
what you
not the
want.
way to communicate? Right? How am I emotionally intelligent enough so that I can display to my mate that, hey, there's some work that needs to be done, whether it's with me or with you or with just both of us. Right? Emotional intelligence means helping somebody understand that without breaking them down. And that's what we have to do. We have to stop breaking our relationships down by breaking each other down because that's not what we really want. We really want love. We truly do. If you're with somebody, you're with that person because you either felt love, had love, or want the love back. And so that's what we're trying to get back. And that's what we're trying to get people to understand. Let's start doing the things that build our relationships up and not tear them down. You want any argument that you have, any disagreement, any issue, you want it to be both of our egos to be intact when we finish discussing it.
Right.
Right. We want both people to feel loved. Discussing. You guys have to excuse me. Sometimes
No. You didn't say it wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm just emphasizing discussing.
Okay. Thank
Right.
you. 'Cause
Not necessarily arguing or hitting below the belt or being disrespectful when you disagree.
No time for us to get. So I'm going to put this disclaimer out there. Sometime when my mind is working faster than my mouth,
Yeah.
I blur some words
That's
together,
right.
and I look back and like, what is that word?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a combination of
I
words.
say, I hope people understood what I was trying to say, and that I'm not really illiterate. That I'm just my mind sometimes goes too fast.
I know you get passionate.
I do.
And I get it.
I do, and I try to stay calm about it. But
you don't. It's okay.
so, guys,
Okay.
just make sure that laugh more.
Yeah.
Don't just hear these words. Live these words. Laugh more. Love more. Forgive more. And just be more. Just be more. Inspire to be more in yourself, which inspires you to be more in your relationship. Life is short. Life is too short
It is.
to really, major in the minors. Let's not do that. Let's understand what it takes and let's just do it. Just do it. Let's be like Nike. Let's just do it. Honestly, I appreciate my partner saying, "Hey, hey, stop, slow down, and think." That means she knows you.
She said, "Hell, pump your brakes, pump your brakes." Hey, but you know
Exactly.
what? Make sure
That
you're
you tell her that.
expressing
Yes.
that to her.
But don't get upset.
Yeah.
Laugh about it.
Yeah.
Next time the tempers are high and the steak is on the grill, right? Because it's hot.
Yeah.
Then just laugh. Just say thank you. I appreciate that. See the difference you feel in expressing that instead of your ego taking over. Just smile, just laugh. Sometimes we gotta laugh at the stupid we do. Absolutely. I just celebrated 20 years of marriage. It took work and a lot of self-reflection.
Talk
Yes,
to me. Talk
yes,
to me. We
yes.
know that when you said 20 years. Uh,
Absolutely. And
uh,
and what we know is that 20 years takes some trials, right?
yeah.
I did this wrong and now I recognize what I did wrong. I said this and I recognize I said this wrong. I understood I may have settled in this area, but now I realize at this point I don't have to settle. Or I realize that if I want the love, I got to do this. So we know 20 years has
Yeah. You have
we're
your
able
peaks
to.
and valleys in that.
That's right.
I got a question for you, Victoria. It's Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
Victoria. How many of those years were happy? Of
you
those 20 years? You know, and a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I just want to know. This is for.
this is for
I
we
just
ask and
I
just
ask
to
that
be true.
question a lot. Go ahead.
Right. I just
Give it a
but
disclaimer.
yeah, disclaimer.
Mhm.
It's not to be personal, it's not
Right.
to put you on blast,
Nope.
but it's to help people understand that um if we've gotten to a milestone or a year, whatever it is, that people understand that there's going to be some years of unhappiness because
Right.
that's the time that we're either working through our stuff and changing, right, to get to where we want to be. So
Or if you want to answer it.
if you're right, you
Yeah.
don't have to,
If you don't
yeah,
want to.
because we know
You know
we'll
what
answer
is
in
funny
private.
that I was watching something and
Good question. I feel like we had more good years than bad. I would do it again. Absolutely.
that's all that matters.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. But we do know we had some bad, right?
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
what we're trying to get at.
Right.
It's not that we're not going to experience bad, but if we understand how to limit those bad, right? But limiting them by the tools and techniques that we're giving you, understanding, sharing the literacy of what it takes to have a good relationship, sharing what marriage is and what marriage is not, sharing the bad with the good so that we can all grow from it. If you can learn from my experiences, why do you need to do them yourself?
That's
Right?
right.
So that's what we're here to do. We're not only here to help you, to encourage you, but we're here to give you something to work through. And also, like I said, change the mindset around relationships. The key is our relationship was keeping God first. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And
You
God will
pray
keep.
together, you
Yes.
meditate, you have each other's back, you respect one another.
All right. So we're going to close this out before we go on 2 hours, guys.
Yeah.
All right. We thank you so much. Honestly, me and my partner have been
Together
together
for
8 years. Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So Dennis, it's been 8 years. You need to get your stuff together, brother. Come on now. All right. So you've been together 8 years. You know exactly what you want. So you just explore yourself.
Yeah. Work on you because there's
You had
something.
plenty enough time to get yourself together. And I'm not picking on you, but this is for anybody out there in general. If this is what you really want to do, then you've had your time. It's time for you to step up and make the decision
To change or let it
to
go.
explore yourself,
Because you're
to inspire
yeah.
yourself to get to the point of making the lady your wife, and then motivate to make and have a healthy relationship and a happy marriage.
That's right.
That's a goal.
God bless you, Dennis, that you're doing
Yes.
the work. Absolutely.
Yes.
Stay motivated. Don't give up. Baby, I was over it on years.
Yes,
I can't,
okay,
yeah,
then
because you know,
Florida, yeah.
right. Baby, I was over it on year 7. Yes, yes, absolutely. What's the next one?
Yeah, that's funny, but yep.
Yeah. Yes, Jason, I dropped the ball plenty times. And that's okay. It's not how many times you drop it, it's how many times you catch it when it come back up.
Yeah.
And you want to, when it goes up, you want to keep it going up. Don't drop it again.
Finance, I'll say this. I was lucky. When you find
There is no luck.
Well, I was
It's just
blessed.
that's right.
I was blessed.
That's right. When
When
that's
you
right.
find that person that you know, and you know you have to know inside that you want to spend the rest of your life with, then you should do everything in your power to make that happen. If they feel the same way about you.
Do what you need to
Do
do.
what you need to do. Be who you need to be. Love yourself the way you need to be loved so you can show up for the person that you truly love.
That's right. That's right. That's the key. If you can't love yourself, you can't expect somebody else to love you because you're still
Right.
going to feel depleted. You're looking for somebody to make you whole, and that doesn't happen. You have to be whole within yourself and be able to give somebody else that love from you, not taking it from them, because then you deplete their love. We have to be able to show up full of love because we are love. We truly are love, and love was meant to share and express. Because if I love, what's the point of keeping it to myself?
That's right.
So I've had people that I meet in 1 or 2 days, and they tell me, "Tina, I just love you." Right? Because love is meant to share. Because when I meet people, I try to show them that love.
Yep.
Right? Love is not something you keep to yourself, but I wouldn't be able to show it to them if I didn't have it in myself, if I didn't love
Right.
myself enough to be able to help them feel the overflow of me loving on them because I love myself. And it has
That's
right.
why I'm so happy. Because you love me, and then I get the overflow, and then
Well,
I
thank
can't
you,
help
baby.
but be so happy. And
All
I
right.
express love too.
Again, guys, don't forget,
Yeah.
give yourself permission to love, to take this journey, to that it's okay that um you may not be where you want to be, but evaluate that space and just keep taking little bitty steps. Right? As they say, you can't eat a big old whopper in one bite. Nope, you can't eat anything in one bite, right? You have to take bites. So take bite-sized steps. And sometimes when you don't know what to do, just sit still and try to think of meditation. And let's watch our thoughts, watch our actions, watch our reaction. Let's explore. Let's do the exploration that leads to our inspiration that's going to create some motivation into what we want and what we truly desire manifesting in our relationships. All right. So God bless each and every one of you. We truly appreciate you guys turning in.
Yes.
Thank you both for bringing awareness to the need to explore. Yes,
Yes.
yes, explore ourselves. And then once we explore ourselves, because guys, this is enjoy that journey on yourself too, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
we really like when we talk with people really are not aware of the things that they do that play into the relationships that they have. They truly believe that it's their mate or that's just the way
It's
it
the
happens.
job. It's the kids. It's the money. It's everything else.
That very first point is so important. It's so important because it's going to take some time. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Don't fake it. Don't give yourself grace in that area, right? Don't don't jump over it. Don't make excuses. Don't defend why you do it. Just be honest with yourself and look at your ugly. Look at your ugly. Take a look at your ugly and then change it because you can.
Yep. I put others
Before our happiness. I
Mhm.
didn't put us first.
Yep. But we've learned our lesson, Dennis. You're gonna put us first.
Yep. You're gonna put you first, Dennis.
You
You
first.
gotta be first.
Yes.
Well, God first.
Right.
So put God, help God put you in you first, and then now you're able to put her first, and then it's a step, right?
Yep.
You gotta work on one thing at a time. You can't work on all of it. When we try to work on all of it, we're trying to do too much.
But you do understand,
That it starts with you.
and
Right.
no one needs to go before you guys. If that's who you love and that's who you want to spend the rest of your time with.
We don't know.
Right.
We're not
We
even
don't
aware
know.
of it.
Right.
Like I said,
But
like you said
now
before,
the adult Dennis knows,
Right.
right? He might not have known the past 8 years, but right now he knows, and he knows that this is important,
Yes.
and he knows that because he said it, right?
He's aware of it. And
You put it out
awareness-
there in the universe, right?
Awareness
So,
is key.
and believe me, what you put out there in the universe like this, it starts to draw and to make that happen and bring it into fruition. So all you have to do is get in alignment with what you said
With what you said you wanted.
because it's coming.
No actions, no thoughts, no
Nothing.
words, none of those things that are not in alignment with what you truly want because you want to be with this person. None of the things that you used to do, they won't happen again because ask yourself before I do this action, before I think this thought, before I say this word, before I take this, before I put somebody first, is this in alignment with what I'm saying that I want? And you have to answer that.
You know, I want to tell this one last story and then we get out of here.
Okay, come
Bunch
Come
of
on.
stories. Anyway, so we were at the gym the other day,
every day. But the
every
other day.
day, the other day, and we accidentally dressed alike. Well, we had on the same colors, right?
Right.
So, because I would look funny in some of those tight pants. So we, so we had on the same color, and some
We
people
were matching.
we were matching. We had some matching colors. So the gentleman in the gym were kind of ragging on me because we were dressing alike. So I was like, yeah. It's like, well, you know what? We did that before. We've done it for a while, but this time it was truly accidental. So the next day, it was done purposely. So I told him as we were leaving the gym, I said, tomorrow we're wearing, whatever color. And he said, okay. So when we showed up, we had it on. So they saw me come out of the locker room first, and they came and said, hey man, look, he wearing blue. I bet you when she come out, she's wearing blue. I said, yeah, she is, for sure. So then after we started getting caught up, and so I walked over there and they were joking. And then I said, man, you can't give me a hard time about this. I said, dude, this is 32 years in the making. So if my wife set something out for me to put on, I'm putting it on. I said, I got somebody to set it out for me to put it on. I don't have to think about anything. I just come in, I put it on, and we out the door and we at the gym. Right. So after they got through joking around, the gentleman goes, man, you know what? I would kind of like to have somebody to dress like me. I thought it was kind of funny, but you know what? I was willing to go there, because it didn't bother me. It's fun. I love it. I love her. But
the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, we want the relationships that make us feel good. So they wish they did have somebody to dress like, and they can if they change themselves. All right, so we're going to end it on that. That was
wow,
funny.
32
Thank you,
years,
guys.
beautiful. Thank you. Yep, and we had a few years in there that was, we hit that valley.
So okay, all right. So I was just gonna say, you didn't ask the question of how many. But
how many years?
How many years were happy? So we're not gonna answer the cliffhanger. All right.
So until next week.
All right. Until next week, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. We hope that you are understanding the message and the love that is coming through the message, that we have to spread the awareness of that we can live healthy, happy, wonderful marriages together. The love does not have to die out. The intimacy doesn't have to die out. What we have to do is stop letting society condition us to thinking that we can't have it. All right. It all begins with us.
So this is where you can find everything about us, our YouTubes, our podcasts, everything, right? Instagram.
Our free ebook. So if you don't have it, please go download our free ebook on igniting the love and relationship the love and intimacy back in your relationship.
Yep.
You can go download that. Our other book should be coming out soon. We're excited about that. We're working on it. So guys, I think that's it, right? We'll see you next Friday.
Yeah, we'll be back here at 6:00 Central Time.
Thank you so much. You guys have a blessed weekend, a blessed week. We love you. We appreciate you, and continue to elevate yourself and your relationships. And as always, we're in it to win it.
Till next week, guys. Love you. Bye.